All right, welcome home, y'all. It is a live show tonight. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I will be honest, I just got here.
Yes.
If you follow me on Instagram, you know I was literally running through the airport because I had major FOMO because I wanted to be here with my co-host, Angela Rye and Andrew Gillum.
What's up,
Double
everybody?
A was trying to do this without me. I said, nope, not tonight.
Don't y'all feel
Not
like the
on her watch.
Avengers?
Not
Like
on my
we
watch.
polled the audience, we
Yeah.
asked them
Yes.
if they wanted us to have a live debate show. They said yes. And
Here we are, episode
voila.
39.
You're right up in this
Episode
piece.
39.
Yeah. What are you guys feeling tonight? I'm excited. Honestly, I was so tired. And Angela literally took over my travel and rerouted my whole flight and everything
So
here to
Angela,
New York.
thank
So
Because you
you.
had
thank you.
FOMO. I want you guys to
Thank
know
you.
Tiffany is the sweeter one of the two of us, but what you ain't ever gonna do is get her to do something she doesn't want to do. So let's be clear about that. She wanted to be here. She wanted to
I
come
have
sit by
FOMO.
Andrew.
I have fun.
love
And
that.
you, I didn't want you all hanging out without me.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's true. She
we
didn't
wouldn't
like
have
that.
fun without you.
Okay, all right. Well, good.
Well,
I'm excited.
Maybe a little bit.
A little
But no,
bit, but
we
you know.
actually are. I just want to shout out the iHeart team.
Yes.
Who like moved mountains to make sure that we could be here with you all tonight. We are going to be watching the debate in real time. This is Donald Trump versus Kamala Harris. For those of you who have been sleeping completely under a rock, and they will be debating on ABC News tonight. It is a 90-minute debate. We have a coverage pre-debate right now until 9 p.m. Eastern, and then we are going to be giving you all our live reactions at the 2 commercial breaks. We have some very special guests joining us tonight. We also have both post-debate analysis. While the debate is on, we will be in the comments on YouTube responding from our own accounts and trying to make sure that we are answering you all's questions, responding to your feedback. And Andrew has insisted that the cameras do not go off during the debate. You will
We're gonna be
seen-
on.
We're going to
I
be
like
on,
it.
but we will not be with audio. So all you will get are these very lack of poker faces sitting here and the responses to everything that's going on that stage.
Y'all, in my defense,
You know what we did? We stood in solidarity with Kamala Harris. Our mics will be muted just like hers are during the debate, and that's what
love
we'll be
it.
doing. What were you going
I
to say,
love it.
Andrew?
I
In
was
your
just going to
defense?
say, in fairness, we've invited you all to join us for this live potting of the show. And then I thought, well, why would we then disappear when the debate starts and
Yeah.
come back during the commercial break? If we're going to
a good
enjoy
point.
it together, yeah, let's
Next
enjoy it
time,
together.
if we got a
everybody.
debate, I want us to sit on a couch.
Oh, I like
Agreed.
that.
It's cute. And then I think we should have onesies, debate onesies.
We should do that from your
Agreed.
house.
Somebody's pointing. Does
But it's
that mean
because somebody
no,
is
it's not
waiting
for us.
for
It's
us.
not for us yet.
Oh.
That
Okay,
actually is not
well,
for us.
whoever's pointing, I would like somebody to bring me a Kleenex because my eyes water.
Aw.
Angela likes the very hot temperature, so
Yes.
Andrew and I are warm, so we have
Very
fans
much so.
blowing
But
at
It's
us.
lose
cold. I
the-
just
the
Jason
shipped it.
denim.
Biggs, can you bring
Oh,
me a
my mic is on.
Kleenex?
So here's the thing that I think is also
gotta
important tonight. There are some debate rules. If you all watched our debate show where we kind of talked about what we expected to come out of tonight, you know already some of these debate rules, but I think it's important for folks to understand.
Yeah.
Mics are muted when they're not responding. The candidates are not allowed to ask each other questions. They're giving 2 minutes to respond to the questions and 2 minutes for rebuttal, and then I think a 1-minute response. There are only 2 commercial breaks during this entire debate.
90 minutes.
In 90 minutes, but I promise you guys it's going to go as fast as our DNC coverage. Y'all know that was 2 hours. That went by really
Also,
quick.
but during those commercial breaks, campaign staff cannot approach the candidates
true. I
or
forgot
talk
about
to
that
them.
one.
They're
Yeah.
not allowed to bring up any notes,
Yeah.
any papers. They'll be provided a pad where they can write for themselves. Guys, I'm curious. Do you think Donald Trump is bringing an A game? If he knows what one is, but I'm
What
curious
does
to
he
know.
have an A game?
I'm
No.
curious to know. Do you think he shows up on his best
Can
tonight?
I tell you guys, I think that Donald Trump, and this is going to sound crazy, some people are going to get mad when they hear me say this, but follow me. I think Donald Trump is underestimated because the bar is so low.
It is low.
Yes.
So here's the thing. Donald Trump wins if he can put together a cohesive sentence.
Yeah.
Donald Trump wins if he can talk about his policy agenda in a manner that makes sense. Donald Trump wins if he cannot throw any type of shade and underhanded comment, any type of put down at Kamala Harris. The bar is so low. Now, those aren't my standards for him winning, but that's how the media, as Tiff always talks about, will construe it if that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
What I think we have to acknowledge is what the bar is for Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris today on this stage has to get to know a large swath of the American public who do not know her.
They've got to get to
She
know
has
her.
to talk about her policy plans in a way that makes sense and speaks to the hearts and minds of Middle America, the coast, and the South. Kamala Harris has to talk about what her foreign policy agenda will be. She has to do so much in 90 minutes, and in some ways, it feels untenable. And I'm not trying to set the bar low for her, but I am trying to demonstrate what we all know as black people in America. We got to be twice as good, sometimes triple, quadruple as good. It's unfair, but I think it's real.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, I just wanted to say that I don't think anybody's going to change their mind tonight. You know,
You've been saying that.
Yeah, I don't think that, you all know how I feel about these swing voters or people who are trying to
You
decide.
think they're mythical?
Like, yeah, at this point, if you don't know who you're voting for between these two candidates, like, give me a break. You know, you're just looking for an excuse. You're trying to give yourself a permission for how you want to vote. And we don't have that privilege. You know, we've never had the privilege to wait for the perfect candidate who feels exactly how we feel on every issue, because we are disproportionately impacted by these policies. So I think tonight, Vice President Harris has the opportunity to even more energize her base and get energized. I think this will be a debate for funders. You know, she's out fundraising him across the board. I think it's a GOTV game. You know, hopefully she'll say something to somebody tonight that's like, you know what, not only am I going to vote, I'm going to arrive with 5, I'm going to volunteer, I'm going to make calls. That's what this is. I don't think it's going to sway the opinion or voting habits of anyone. Now, for Donald Trump, I will say, I think he has the opportunity to lose voters. I don't think he has been very good at broadening his coalition. I think people can get so turned off by his behavior tonight that perhaps they will find some modicum of consciousness and say, I cannot turn over the country to this person. So I think the stakes are actually higher for him, to be honest.
You know, there's one thing that is most important about tonight's debate.
What's that?
It's happening, so y'all fools.
I knew she was going to say that. I knew it. 2 dinners. 2 dinners for Angela.
I get 2 dinners.
Well, guess what? The fat lady has not sang.
Oh, no.
That's
we ain't saying neither of them on this
Come on,
camera here
Andrew.
yet, so
I'm
there's
with you.
still time for them to back out. But you know what the truth is I've been reading
I'll
how
say to myself,
many,
congratulations, Angela.
congrats.
You won that.
Congrats.
You won. Thanks, Dylan.
That reading, the frustration of reading so much of the mainstream media has been this disproportionate way in which they set expectations for Vice President Harris. It's she's got to answer for her record. She's got to make plain what her vision is. And as we sit here, y'all, aside from Project 2025, which Donald Trump didn't directly participate in yet, he admonished all of his staff, thousands of them.
I wouldn't say that he didn't
No. What I want to
participate.
say about that is that aside from Project 2025, I can't think of one thing the man actually stands for. When you think of, tax breaks for the wealthy is 1%. But he's been so everywhere. There's nothing concrete about what he says. He sort of reminds me of what's that? Kids love to play with it, and I hate it.
Play-Doh.
Not the Play-Doh, the other, the more jelly-ish.
I know it's slime.
Slime stuff, right?
Yeah.
He's kind of slime.
Kinda?
It doesn't
Yeah.
really stand firm. It just wobbles. And
Wobble.
oh Lord, I knew it was going
so
there.
it doesn't
Wobble, baby,
stand
wobble,
firm,
baby.
and he's obsessed with crowd size. So I will draw an inappropriate parallel.
So,
That's fine.
y'all,
This
if
is
you want to know where
debate
this night is going,
analysis.
I want to see the comments.
just
I'm trying,
got
you
a
guys,
very
please drop
clear
comments
picture.
because we want you guys to be a part of this conversation, and I want to see what you guys are saying. We'll shout you out as we see you. If Andrew could figure out how to show me
I
the
don't,
comments,
me and
somebody will
technology.
show-
Amen.
Is
Angela
this not
could see
it?
the
How do you
comments.
get?
So anyway, while these old people are figuring things out, I
Yes.
also just want to point out, I want to highlight some of our folks who are coming on tonight. We'll be joined very soon by our good friend Jemele Hill. We will also be joined tonight by our friend Elie Mystal, and we'll be joined by our friend Errin Haines later. We have a tremendous show lined up for you all. We are so very excited about being here with you to look at this debate, to talk about what's happening. We even have a live fact checker, y'all. We'll make sure that we're getting those facts to you updated tonight throughout the show, especially when we get to those commercial breaks 1 and 2 and in that post-debate analysis. Now, I hope I can tell you just how many lies were told, but we might not be able to do that. We're going to do our very, very best.
If it's Donald Trump, a lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. They
A
said a
lot
lot.
of lies.
How many lies you got? A lot. So, you know,
Sorry,
the
we are
other,
figuring out the comments, but I'm with you.
I want to ask you guys while you're
Yes.
figuring out the comments. Shout out to Josh Shapiro on the stage, stumping for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. But I also wanted to come to you quickly.
They're in his home turf.
Here's my question.
Yes.
What do you all think they will cover tonight? They can't cover everything.
Well,
what do you think is a for sure topic that will be asked about?
Vice President Harris on Sunday just dropped her policy platform. So I think she is really going to hone in on the economy and those economic kitchen table issues that matter so importantly to so many people. That's a bipartisan issue. No matter how you vote, you should care about the economy and how it impacts you. I think a lot of people, when they think about the economy, they conflate that with the markets, which we know is not true. I think folks who are watching, they want to know about inflation. They want to know why they're paying so much money for a carton of milk. Do you think Donald Trump even knows how much a carton of milk costs? Like, probably not. But Vice President Harris actually cooks. She participates in this process. So I think she'll hone in on economic issues.
Kitchen table.
Yes. Now, I don't know if this will come up, but obviously you guys know I would like to hear her take on some of our foreign policy, particularly Israel and Gaza, which we've talked a lot about on this show. So I'll be
Unfortunately, I don't have high hopes that we're going to get the range of kind of conversation that you would expect from the next leader of the free world. Mm-hmm. I think by and large, they're going to traffic over what her changes in public policy stances have been. And I'm thinking very specifically the moderators themselves. I think Donald Trump will obviously try to throw to it, not as if he hasn't changed his position from one moment to the next. What she has said, and I think she'll probably deliver today in a more even compelling way, is that while tactics may change, her core, where she is fundamentally on the issues, her values are consistent. Mm-hmm. And as I said when we were potting, I don't know, last week, the week before, that if you are a leader, and especially a leader of the free world, the first and second in command, every day you ought to be learning new things that cause you to reinterrogate where you previously were on this thing to that thing. Not that you're moving your position from, I'm for a woman's right to choose, and then no, I'm not for it. Not that, but the tactics that you use, the strategies that you use to achieve a goal, they ought to be as evolving as the sun is, coming up in the daytime and the moon at night. So I don't hold her to any sort of expectation that she would not have evolution. I just hope tonight that she can explain it in a way that people don't feel like they're being played, but rather that she's speaking what her heart is and what her plan is.
Can I just shout out Alicia Burnett, Auntie Cookie, A.D. Morales, Shelly R. We see you tuning in. A lot of people are saying, thanks, A-Rye. Hey, girl, thank you for doing this. That's to you, Angela, Willie Nash. So I just want you guys to know we finally figured it out, and we see you watching. So please tune in. Tell your friends to tune in and keep those comments
coming. Tell your friends, tell your mama, tell your cousins and them. So with that, I think the other thing that is really important for us to understand is the candidates don't get to set the questions. So we will see what the moderators decide to ask about, but there are some very major issues percolating. You mentioned Kamala Harris rolling out her full platform. We know last week she also rolled out a small business plan as well. So we will see. Donald Trump is just rolling around in them words.
He hasn't even really been campaigning.
He hasn't really been. Oh, you know what else? People keep talking about the Casa Dragonis on the table. I do want to shout out Ina Burke, who told us that we needed, we said tequila, make the tequila on the ready.
Said
and
tequila.
And yes, Andrew is not a part of this, but Tiff and I are tequila connoisseurs. We love this. Here's what I will say. This is also from Bob Pittman, who's the CEO of iHeart. So this is a special Bob Pittman bottle. Shout out to iHeart for doing that. I can hear you, Andrew, while I'm shouting out to Bob Pittman. You are not on mute, but
this is he's asking about the comments.
But how do you make one?
You type in the chat.
Angela make the comments.
No, he can type in the chat right there. Anyway, you guys, while Grandpa's figuring out how to type in the chat.
Shut the hell up.
Yeah, don't do it. Let Angela do it,
no,
Andrew.
He can have it. I don't want to be responsible for it.
I haven't chatted
anyway.
You guys,
7 years.
Go let Andrew. I don't know why you encouraging him to
I don't know why he's talking while we're on the mic.
Why do I have to create a channel in order to chat?
Okay, Andrew, all right.
We're live, Andrew. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, I was trying to live chat.
Okay. All right,
Grandpa. Chat in the camera.
Grandpa Gillum in the building. Anything else, bud?
Whatever.
Live chat to the camera.
Andrew's literally like, but how do I make a comment right here? You're not even whispering. Write it down. Damn. Write it down.
And he didn't have YouTube downloaded. That's why we couldn't see his
Look at how he looked. Did you see him look up embarrassed? How are you watching our show, bud?
Can you please stop
We
telling people
figured
what
it
I had
out. We
down
figured.
there? I
Okay,
don't
my
know
bad.
business.
Anyway, I want to hear from you guys. You guys tell me what you'd like to see tonight. One thing that I will say, Angela, that I'm concerned about.
Yes.
I hope they don't spend a lot of time on dumbass questions. You know, I think, you know, if you spend 30 minutes on fracking, like that is not something that's impacting a majority of Americans. And I really hope that they fact check.
Yeah.
You know, like
I don't think they're going to.
I was trying to find guidance for that.
Yeah.
And so far, it's just been a bunch of, like even in the trades and like Pointer and Columbia Journalism Review, everybody's like, we hope they fact check, but I haven't seen a definitive answer. What?
We are fact checking.
I know you said we have live fact checkers.
We have a live fact check. So if
Good.
if ABC not gonna do it, if Fox News, you know they're not gonna do it. If CNN not gonna do it, guess where y'all can get it? NativeLandPod.com. We were gonna have that up on socials. We will have some of those facts on the ready as we come into that first commercial break as well.
But you know, I've heard some journalists talk about their role being purely that of journalists, which is to ask questions, but not to themselves engage in the debate.
Yes.
Right? I mean, it's how they see it. What was that? Was that Candy Crowley? That one debate
CNN,
where
that's
she
right.
engaged
Yes.
and said that is not correct. That is not correct. And we ain't seen her on TV since.
Candy
if
Crowley
you
did
out
an
there,
amazing job. Thank you.
we feel you and we love you.
Exactly.
And speaking of people who do an amazing job,
Yeah, I see
everybody,
'em.
we have two special guests right now. All right.
We got
two
Jemele
guests. I
and
hope we
Ellie,
can
we
hear
can see
them.
you doing your
Can
hair.
we hear them?
I think let's bring them in and see.
Okay, we have Jemele Hill, who is co-founder of Lodge Freeway Media. She is an incredible journalist who writes for The Atlantic, our good friend and author and a host, Jemele Hill. And we also have Elie Mystal, a justice correspondent for The Nation, and our good friend, our Supreme Court guru, our resident
be a
tell-it-all.
Supreme Court justice.
He might need to be a Supreme Court justice. I'm here for
We've
it.
already
No
put 'em
law
up.
tonight.
Oh, I can hear y'all, but barely. I'm gonna turn my stuff up.
Ellie, I
Ain't no
love
law,
the
just
Afro
fighting
thing.
tonight.
What did
Jemele,
say?
I love
Ain't no law,
whatever
just
you were
fight
sitting in
tonight.
front of. Is that the
A
bookshelf?
sneakerhead. That is all her
that's-
sneakers in the
Yeah,
back.
well, and not just mine. It's me and
You
my
and
husband's.
Ian.
I got one side. He has the other side. So
I love that. I
Can't
love
see it.
that.
Well, you
Oh,
guys,
nice.
what are you expecting from the debate tonight? I want to know who you got, who you think is going to win, and why. Jemele, this in particular importance for you, I think, because every time I think about Donald Trump, almost, I think about him single-handedly coming at your neck on Twitter, on social media, and really
With his
putting,
little bitty
on a
hands.
serious
Yeah.
note, really could it put your
Her
life in
danger,
jeopardy?
yeah.
And so I just,
Yeah.
I got to know that this debate means something so much more to you, given what's hanging in the balance. I want to come to you first, and Ellie, we absolutely want to hear from you. What are you all expecting from the debate tonight?
well, it will be interesting to see him on the stage against Vice President Harris with all of his obsession about crowd sizes, if you will. But honestly, it is. I think this is the bigger opportunity for Kamala Harris. I think the people who are going to vote for Donald Trump are going to vote for Donald Trump. I don't really see this, and Ellie can certainly correct me, or any of you all, Andrew, Tiffany, or Angela. It's like, I don't see him winning over that many people. The people who love him kind of love him, and that's it. To me, this presents a greater opportunity for Vice President Harris to get people further energized, a greater opportunity for her to win over some voters who the decision was not necessarily between her and Donald Trump, but voting or the couch. And so I think she has a much clearer pathway to do something like that. And I think now we're going to really see some of those things that were unable to be highlighted by Joe Biden. Significant age difference, that will be among the many things visually we will see. And I think even the way that their demeanor is so different, because I don't believe that Donald Trump will be able to control himself. I think he's going to resort to the same old things that he always does. And I think people are kind of bored with it.
Yeah.
And so that, to me, is where he's going to lose a lot of people.
Yeah.
Jemele, before we go to Ellie, I just wanted to quickly ask you, there's been a raging debate around whether or not she should meet Trump in the gully if he goes,
Now, you asking the
low
wrong one.
with it.
She gonna go low too.
You really
Or,
are.
I just want I want to hear your thoughts on whether or not she flies above it, dismisses him politely, and keeps it moving, or whether she has to go low and then bring
So
it back up.
I'm not keep that same energy kind of person, right? And so my thing is, you're not going to be up there questioning whether I'm black, saying all these things about me. And then when we see each other, it's all good. It's like, no, I keep that same energy when you calling me crazy, when you laughing at my laugh and trying to say disrespectful things about me. Just keep that energy. Like we don't need to even go through the sort of fakeness of appearing like there's some level of decorum here, because we know during this debate he's not going to remember any. So look, Michelle Obama, God bless her, our forever first lady. She said, when we go, when they go low, we go high. I'm like, no, when they go low, I'm going to the pit of hell.
I tried to tell you,
I'm the
Unger.
petty.
I love
I'm
it.
like,
Ellie's
I'm
nodding.
meeting you
Yeah.
on the corner of Petty Pendergrass and Petty LaBelle. That's where I live.
Petty
I love
LaBelle.
it.
Ellie,
well,
you
we
gotta
have
chime
3
in here, 'cause
minutes
we only
left
got-
before the debate.
Yeah.
So I want to bring you in, Elie. What do you want to see tonight? Were you asking the question? I think
No, I literally saying the same thing.
Okay,
Yes.
so with 3 minutes left before these candidates take the stage, Elie, just give it to us. What are you expecting to hear tonight?
Well, right now I'm just still terrified, right? I have a little bit of PTSD. The last time we were here, brother lost the debate so bad he had to drop out the race. All right, so that's the floor, right? And I'm worried. I don't want a repeat. Obviously, I think she's going to do a lot better than Biden did, but like the stakes are high, and so that has me nervous. The other reason why I'm nervous is because we can talk about who's going to win or lose in a kind of football horse race analogy, but at the end of the day, it's going to be the media after the fact that declares their Lord and Savior, Donald Trump, the winner, regardless of what happens. Donald Trump has to call Kamala Harris the N-word and physically assault her before the media will acknowledge that the old rambling white man potentially lost a debate to a black woman. All right, like that's the bar for Trump. So since Harris is going to be held to a higher standard, one that will not apply to the lying, deranged opponent that she has on stage tonight, I am worried about the expectations game after the debate. However, to Andrew's question about should she go into the gully, man, she should go into the trench and fight him hand to hand with knives out in the gully, or whatever you want to call it. I don't think that there is a place where Donald Trump can go tonight where he should feel safe from withering attacks and snarks and disses. Kamala needs to go full Kendrick Lamar.
Yes. Come on, Ellie. They not like us.
To really right.
Jemele Hill. You started it, Ellie. You started it. Don't try to get serious now. We got Kendrick Lamar bars for you waiting. Like, I mean, you didn't forgot you on here with some, like, you know, we hip hop heads. Anyway, meanwhile, Andrew's like, I don't know what they're talking about.
Shut the hell up.
But you guys,
I'm not gonna do my bro like that.
Come on. Thank you, Jemele.
you guys
Thank
know
you.
if it ain't Dirty South, Andrew ain't about to rap with us. But it's all good. You know, this is an incredible
South
debate. We
Florida
hope
DJs,
we can
baby.
get to y'all back at this first commercial break to see if our predictions are absolutely right. We cannot wait to be back on with you all. As you know, the debate is about to happen live in Philadelphia. So as Jemele said, I hope she keeps that roots Philadelphia energy and gets in that A.
So during the debate, I just got here, so I'm understanding from my co-host that the cameras will be on us.
Yes.
But we will be muted, just like the candidates. Our mics will be
Yes.
muted, so you'll be able to see our facial expressions.
Yep.
Some high fives, maybe.
I might sea
Couple
walk.
crawls
I might
under
sea
the
walk.
table.
I'm
Okay,
thinking
you
about
might
it.
get a sea walk from Angela. Andrew, are you? All right. Well, we don't know
Yeah.
what
Oh, he's
Andrew's
already
gonna,
muted.
Andrew's gonna try to figure out how to get YouTube working and how to live chat on YouTube.
That is absolutely
All right,
true.
I think it looks like the debate is
The
starting.
debate is starting. Jay and Ellie, we love you. Thank you.
Tune
We'll see
in,
you in a
guys.
little bit.
See you in a bit.
Are we back?
I don't even know where
Are we
my.
back?
Are we back, guys? We are back.
All
What
right.
in
We are
the
back.
holiest
All right.
of all hell?
Ooh.
I
a lot to get
mean,
into.
yeah.
Well,
Well, I want y'all to know that
Mm,
Angela was
it's
screaming.
ridiculous.
We have to remind her that he cannot hear you. I won't say what you were screaming.
I was cussing a little bit. Elie, can you hear us?
You were muted, but
Oh,
I
we
can hear you
can't
now.
Ellie.
Okay, perfect. Well,
Can you hear Elie?
Turn your mic
I
up,
can't
maybe.
hear Elie.
I can hear him.
I can't
Elie,
hear Elie.
Woo!
sorry, I was chewing. Yes, I was about to say, we saw you doing all types of sign language. It looked like you was in the Kendrick Lamar video.
Can you hear
Speaking
Elie?
of Kendrick.
yeah.
But I want to...
I was like,
Jamel's
wait, we
here
back?
too. Hey, girl, turn the lights on.
Jay was taking
Jay
a nap
was in
during
the-
that
Turn the lights on.
nonsense.
There you go.
But here's my question.
I can't hear.
There was a point, Elie, in that whatever he was doing, that diatribe from Trump, where he talked about standing and the fact that he should have had standing because there were all these people in places. I want you to talk about that for a few seconds, and I want to get into y'all's overall reaction to this first. Was it an hour? It went an hour.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
in.
It was too
Been
damn
an
long.
hour.
It was
one.
way too long.
No, it was too damn long.
Follow the
I could have
rules.
listened to her for that long.
Ellie,
but
what
he
you
was
got?
I want to know what
ridiculous.
Jemele's
Yeah, so
drinking
just-
on.
First of
you-
all, stay out of grown people business. That's number one.
Just very quickly on the cases. No, he lost 60 cases. He's the most losing. He has the worst record of any president in American history in terms of cases in front of courts. And most of those cases were actually on the merits. They weren't on
Just come out.
mere standing. There were a couple of cases where they said on standing he didn't have the right
we
to
on
sue. But
mute?
there were more than enough cases where they said you have the right to sue. You just wrong and stupid and need to get that case out my courtroom. So like he was lying about that. In terms of my overall impressions, I can't just from a technical excellence standpoint, I cannot emphasize how well Harris is doing. And I just want to highlight one particular section. Trump got the question on immigration, right? Trump only wants to talk about immigration. He only wants to demonize immigrants. He's been doing it all night, right? When Harris got the immigration question, what did she lead with? It wasn't immigrants. It was that joke about his rallies, about how people are bored and exhausted at his rallies, right? Now that's a sweet diss, but it was technically proficient because what happened exactly next? When it went back to Trump, Harris, knowing that Trump is a narcissistic, weak man, Trump stepped on his own answer about immigration to defend his dumbass rallies.
Yeah.
And so he wasted half of his time talking about immigration, which is his signature issue, defending his rallies. And by the time his like old brain caught up to remember that he was supposed to talk about immigration, all he could do is they're eating dogs. And so she got him so flustered that he went from defending his rallies to an online only internet meme joke, and then got into a fight with the moderator over where they're eating dogs. That's all. That looks like Trump did very bad. But give Harris her flowers.
She was excellent.
She set him up for that. She led him to that like a horse to water, and he bathed himself in it.
That's
Let
right.
me, Jemele, I want to go to you really quick. We want to go to you really quick. Jay, if you had to pick who won that first hour and tell us why.
I agree with what Elie said. The thing is, you got to see this like a boxing match, right? And so what boxers do often is that they bait you into throwing setup punches so that they can really clobber you and clock you in your face. And so as soon as she came after the rallies, I was like, it's on. He's not going to be able to resist because it just strikes at all his narcissism and his ego to talk about his low crowds, and he took it like never before. And she was over there laughing. All I know is that my general impression of this is that we have one person who is a professional and understands the duties and the roles of the duty and role of the president, and realize that this is a very important position, and it's a clown. Like, I don't even know what to do with that rambling mess of an answer or any of his answers. The fact that he repeated that pet eating story.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
yes.
crazy.
I was like,
It's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Why would you repeat that? But I will say this, and this is my final thought about it, is we have to realize that these debates, I think they move the needle only a certain amount. Yeah. The reality is he's speaking to his people, his base.
Exactly.
I don't think Trump can add any more voters. I think the people who are voting for him are going for him. She has the opportunity to convince people who I guess are undecided or still like, I don't know if I want the crazy pet eating guy or the one who actually acts like a professional politician. she has the opportunity to add those people. So I don't
Absolutely.
think
All right.
we keep waiting on this day that people are
We're
going to, who
back,
support him,
Jay.
are going to wake
I
up
hate to
and
cut you
support
off, but
somebody
we're
else.
back. So we're going to go
Not
back
gonna
to the
happen.
debate, but we'll see you on the next commercial
Thank
break. So
y'all.
don't go too
See
far.
y'all. See y'all. That was great. Because you didn't get to talk last night.
Where's we on?
We back.
I don't have an earpiece. I can't hear him.
Well, we're back.
We're back.
We are-
Ellie, can you hear us? Ellie. Okay,
Oh,
Ellie.
good. Hey, man, listen. First of all, I'm about to lose all of my ish with these moderators at this point, seeming to only be able to regulate one of the candidates on the stage. Kamala has not taken advantage of the time. She has been extremely patient. I'm sorry, the vice president has been extremely patient. What the hell is going on with that? I mean, don't waste your time, Jemele and
Ellie.
Ellie
I wanna know
on
what they think
that,
about the
but
moderators.
I'm frustrated by it because I was like
frustrated, too.
cheering for them when they were fact checking,
Twice,
but now
only
it seems
twice.
that they are running over her when she's trying to defend her position in misstatements. Yet they keep turning his goddamn mic on.
What do y'all think?
That's annoying.
I agree with that. I think like they have let him get the last word way too many times.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, like it's been a little frustrating, I think, as a viewer. But I try not to be too hard on him because
I know.
listen, it's easy to armchair quarterback.
I
Like
get
being
it.
in that position, he's a unique type of candidate because
He's a
he just
bully.
goes and goes and goes. But they definitely should have cut his mic.
They could
a
keep
few
his
times
mic
and not
on.
let him get
I
that
was
last
counting.
word.
I was counting in that last middle segment.
Yeah.
They let him have the last word on every
Unbelievable.
single
That's right.
question, and that's just bad moderating.
She asked
In terms of
for
turning
two
the mics
facts.
on,
She wanted
I
to
actually don't
clarify
think that
two.
they're turning his mic back on. I think he is just screaming because what Harris is showing is that he is a giant baby. I mean, he is
Huge.
like the level at which this debate has turned into competent black woman must deal with idiot colleague at work.
Yes,
is
yes.
just- I mean, I think
Yeah.
like the black women here must feel
Don't try me.
some connection with what Harris is having to go through tonight, right? As Trump just devolves into his old man screams at clouds kind of phase of life right now. One of the tweets that I saw that was the best was evidently Harris supports abortion for 78-year-old babies because that is what's happening right now.
Oh my God. They were like speaking of execution, I will say this, you guys. I know that we are being hard on the moderators, and I will say all I'm really asking for is an enforcement of the rules, right? One of the things that we talked about in the beginning of our show was, hey, let's be very clear about what the rules are. We were actually, I think, torn on our debate show, our pre-debate show, where we talked about how it was going to go, about them not muting the mics. We thought, or about muting the mics, and thought that maybe not muting the mics would be more advantageous for Kamala Harris. If they're going to turn on the mics when Donald Trump starts to speak, no matter what's going on, then they really, in effect,
Then
are
what's
not
the
enforcing
point?
the rules. That's
Yeah.
right. And I just think for someone who is diplomatic, someone who is respectful, as she's demonstrated clear respect for him, this man has not even said her damn name
Not
tonight.
once.
Yeah.
He hasn't said Madam
Not
Vice
once.
President. He's calling her
Them, her,
she, her boss,
they.
right? Like all of the things. My favorite moment from Kamala Harris, where I felt like, as you would say, Jemele, she kept that same energy, is when she said, and this is not what we want. I was
This.
like, call him this, call him this.
She called him this, but it was the look for me.
It was the
I mean,
look.
she looked. She
It
was
was
like,
the this
"We can
look.
do better than
And it was
This.
also
this."
the pregnant pause, right? The this
Yes.
Yeah.
for
Yes.
the president, right? You could tell that she was like, this fool,
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
this disgrace, this embarrassment.
Y'all,
this.
we
And
turn
disgrace
to
has
we
been
turn to
hidden.
technicalities a little bit here because on the substance of it all, she is walking the damn dog.
Yes.
that's
All
true.
across
Dog walking
that
this dude.
stage. He's not.
Yep.
They're not in the same universe as
Yeah.
far as I can tell when it comes to the facts of the matter. And both you all, I think, analyzed it perfectly in the first break, where you had to note that this isn't just his incompetence and inability. This was her brilliant planning on how it is to trap this guy at every single turn. She has dangled the mysterious fruit, and he's chased it every single time. And he ain't caught it.
But Andrew, though, here's what I worry about, though, is that, listen, I was one of those who thought Al Gore wiped George W. Bush.
Yeah.
And what I worry about is that people won't appreciate the nuance
right.
of what they're seeing.
right.
Do you think that if you want to say and go with the lie that we got a bunch of independent voters out there to be
Right.
do you think the average person kind of understands what's happening?
What I hope is that the average person knows what competent and incompetent are.
You
the
guys-
fact that the guy,
Okay,
I think they're
we gotta
coming back.
thank
Coming
so
back,
we
but
gotta
Jemele,
go.
we want to
Thank
thank
you,
you. We know that this is
Jay.
our
Yeah,
last
thank
one with
you,
We
thank you,
Love
thank you.
Shout out to an early
Thank
spoiler
you.
alert. Jamel's going to have a podcast on his network. We got to go. Bye. We'll
Stay tuned
talk
for
later.
that.
Ellie, you stay around, buddy.
Stick around. All right, we'll see y'all at the next break.
Visions for our country.
Sorry.
Wow, 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 wow.
Well,
Wow.
as you guys know, we had a break near the end, and we are straight out back into our programming. This is our post-debate analysis. We are bringing in our good sister, Errin Haines. She is a writer at the 19th. She runs a
And that
podcast
pick.
called
Ellie.
Inviting
The
the pick
Amendment.
back.
You better pick that bro. Get ready to go.
about to
You hear
pick
them
that.
bars? You hear them bars?
I heard it.
So here's the Errin. Don't do me. But here's the
Looking at Elie with this pick on
Oh,
the
Yeah.
you know,
He
that
was
means he's
picky,
feeling
yeah.
ready. He's feeling froggy and about to leave.
Yeah, he about to leave.
Here's the thing. I want us to do a little rapid round real quick, and let's grade the candidates who are on the stage as well as the moderators. Errin, we're bringing it to you first because you're just now joining us. Of course, the hosts are also engaged in this rapid round. So,
And
what,
the
how do
listeners.
yes, we're absolutely going to bring in our listeners, our YouTube commenters. The comments are on fire on YouTube right now. Errin, what say you? Who won the debate, and how do you grade Trump, Kamala, and the moderators?
Oh, I like that.
Okay, so first and foremost, the moderators, and by way of the moderators, the American people won tonight because they actually had a debate where issues and policies were discussed and you got a sense for who these two candidates were, which is supposed to be the point of a debate, but I can't remember the last debate that was so well moderated. I mean, you talk about David Muir and Lindsay, fact-checking these candidates in real time. Like, that is what is supposed to happen so that the American people can be informed and make the decision that they need to make in 56 days, right? So I give the moderators an A++. I thought that they did a masterful job.
Oh,
Now,
interesting. We'll have
in
disagreements.
terms of Vice President Harris, I thought that she did what she came to do tonight, which was to introduce herself and address the American people directly, and then to make the case against former President Donald Trump, who she addressed and took on directly.
She's not going to eat no more
many
Jelly
points.
Bellies. I had to say that out loud. Sorry.
Sorry,
That
Errin. I
on
was eating
purpose.
jelly beans, and they're telling me to be quiet with the
I
bag.
tried to tell her. I tapped her in the
I'm
arm.
sorry, you
She
guys.
ain't
Sorry, Errin. In the middle of your brilliant
Except
point.
Yes, Errin.
Listen, it was,
said, "Listen."
first of all, that debate was more than 90 minutes. So, I
Yeah.
mean,
It
shout out to
was.
you for, I think we all needed snacks. So I don't blame you. It's okay. It's okay. We love jelly beans. I wish I had some. But no, like, she did what she came to do. Meanwhile, you have former President Trump, who really took the bait, it felt like, on multiple occasions where she was not taking the bait at all. He didn't really look at her very much. I think that was probably a strategy. And then also, at one point, kind of found myself wondering, is this a debate Trump versus Harris or Trump versus David Muir? Because that seems to be the only person he was interested in talking to tonight. You know what I mean?
The other man.
So,
in
wait,
the
other
so
white
Errin,
man.
just so we're clear, you
Correct.
gave the moderators A++, Kamala Harris.
I would say she probably gets a solid A.
What about
and
Trump?
I would say well, I mean, I guess it depends on what he thought the assignment was, you know.
From your
But from what you thought the assignment was.
your standards.
I would say that it was probably a failing grade because there was no policy plan for the American people.
Yeah.
He spent a lot more time attacking her than he did telling the American people what he would do. And of course, there were a lot of falsehoods happening throughout the night.
A lot of
We
fun.
disagree on them.
He's so
I'm
polite,
shocked
Errin.
because
I
we
like
have different
that.
opinions on the moderators. Elie, I'm curious to hear your opinion. Moderators, Trump and Kamala, or Vice President Harris, excuse me. What do you say?
Yeah, so I'll start with the moderators. I'll give them a B, maybe a B+. I'm a little bit of a tough grader. I do agree that, especially Lindsay in the beginning, fact-checking him on the abortion lie, I thought was particularly important. Muir going back and forth with him on exactly who might be eating pets where, also quite useful. But as I was saying in the last segment, it's almost like Trump wore them down. Right. And like as the debate went on, I think they let him talk more. They let him get the last word for every single question from the midway point on, just because he was shouting so much. And so I just think that it takes a lot of stamina to contend with Trump for 90 minutes. And I don't know that the moderators had it. So that's why I'm kind of giving them a B+ range. Harris gets an A+ because she had the stamina. Right. Yeah. She never lost her edge. Honestly, and I know I'm a little bit biased here because not just because I'm a Democrat, but because like really competent women is kind of my thing. I think that was the best presidential debate performance I've seen in my life. Just in terms of the degree of difficulty of debating, you're debating a circus clown. All right. She's coming in, end of the campaign, she has to deal with the Biden PTSD disaster. She's got to be both dismissive of his foolery, but serious about the danger of the threat. And that is a line both literally laughing at him when he's making no sense, but also reinforcing and re-highlighting how uniquely dangerous he is to the American people, while also setting up yourself as the new charismatic, energetic. He calls her Joe Biden. She says, actually, I'm here to bring a new generation of leadership.
That was so good.
To do that all in 90 minutes without ever getting the last word, I think that's an A. I think that was the degree of difficulty was high. That is Greg Louganis off of some kind of high board, no splash, right? So I think she gets an A. For Trump, like Errin, it depends on what you thought the assignment was. It depends on what he was actually trying to do.
So put yourself in the mind of if you think he was there to perform a job, rank him against that.
So let me try to take away all of my empathy and knowledge and pretend that I'm a MAGA voter, right? So let me try to understand what it's like to only be able to breathe through my mouth and never have read a book.
Wow.
And if I think about it that way, I give the president a C, because even if I'm that kind of MAGA person, I want to see him pugilistic and combative, and I want to see him funny and entertaining. And he wasn't those things. He was combative towards the moderators, not to Harris. He wasn't funny in any way. He wasn't entertaining in any way. He didn't really have any great one-liners. And he just seemed,
we were laughing at him, not with him.
Right, and he seemed more whiny, right, than anything else. And so at the end, I think his worst line of the night that again Harris kind of baited him into was when the moderators baited him into was when they were asking him about his healthcare plan that he's had 9 years to come up with, and he's like, I have the concepts of a plan. Even for MAGA voters, right? It's like, well, no, you either have a plan or you don't care. I have the concepts of a plan. Man, that sounds like something a weak-ass professor might say, right? So I think even on MAGA's own scorecard, I can't give him more than a C.
Here's the thing. It's so hard to have really smart people on, because what y'all not gonna do is rapid respond. I love y'all for that. You I have an answer, but with context. So I appreciate.
We have context, but I want to answer.
You guys have context of the
answer. How do you grade?
I'm gonna tell you. I just want to shout out the commenter on YouTube who said that Trump gets a Z-. I thought that was hilarious.
I love
Z as in zebra. In case y'all didn't understand. For me, I give the moderators a B-. I was really disturbed by the way in which the rules were not enforced. I just am somebody that believes in justice. It is like my quirk. It is a trigger. Frustrating. I give Kamala Harris an A-, and on the border of a B+, because I think that there could have been some sharper, harder blows. When he said he had a concept of a plan, she should have said no. Donald, you have a plan. It's called Project 2025. I just wanted some of those zingers. Tap in. If he gets to start shouting on the mic, shout right back. This is your moment. And he had her beat on time. Probably.
Now wait a minute. You just said they're supposed to follow the rules. But
the moment, here's the thing: the moment that he decides that he's going to break the rules and he does it 3, 4, 5, 6, meet him where he's at. Disturb it. And you saw that she got under his skin when he said, hey, I'm speaking, hey, quiet over there, and all that. You're under his skin, keep getting under his skin so he cannot focus. The last thing is Donald Trump. I agree with the Z-, but I would say he was effective at doing what Donald Trump does. He distracted, he destroyed facts, he came at her. There were personal attacks, and I'm sure from a strategic standpoint from his campaign, it was a strategy, Errin, to your point, to not look at Kamala, and it was a strategy to not call her Madam Vice President, to not call her Vice President, to not call her, Harris, to not call her Kamala. He did not ever say a single name about Kamala. He said her, he said she, he said her boss.
Them, they.
Yeah.
And she afforded him the respect of addressing him
as
right, exactly.
And
except for that.
Right. And she is certainly deserving of being addressed as Vice President Harris. And I think it was very intentional of him not to do that. Look, I will give, I'll start with Donald Trump. I'll give him an A+. And I say that because it really doesn't matter to his followers. They lack any kind of intellectual curiosity. I won't go as far as Elie said, mouth breathers, because
that was wild.
there are some mouth breathers on the other side. But look, I think that there was nothing that he could have done that was going to detract from people who are hopelessly devoted to him, in the words of Olivia Newton-John. Like there literally was nothing that he could do or say. So he did what he came to do, and that is to keep a large amount, at least 75 million people of this country, devoted to the MAGA cult. I'll give Vice President Harris, I'll give her an A-. I kind of echo Angela's sentiment, where I think there were some zingers that she could have hit harder. However, I do take into consideration the fact that, like I said, when she's speaking, she's addressing the globe.
Yeah.
She is speaking to world leaders across this country. She's speaking to very serious people. I think Andrew made a good point. I'm stealing it for myself, but it was originally Andrew's point that he said when we were off camera, and that was that she was really speaking to a lot of moderate voters out there, people who are looking to give themselves permission, and by bringing up the Taliban coming meeting at Camp David, which I remember that being such a huge deal in the news, and we totally forgot about it. And as you know, a journalist, Errin, I'm sure you can appreciate this, trying to cover his administration was like trying to catch confetti. You literally could not cover all the scandals. So it was a great reminder of the people of who this man is. I thought the moderators, I will give them a B-. I thought, to Angela's point, they were letting him get away with murder. I mean, he got way more talking time. I think, though, that was actually a benefit to Harris. You know, like, let this man ramble on like a half-witted, asinine fool that he is, and let the American people see and look at yourself in the mirror, America, and force yourself to confront. This is the man who you put in office. Will you do that same dumb shit again? And I hope their answer is no, absolutely not. Not after what they said. Andrew, I know you want to get to it. Can I just offer a little bit of factual context for the Springfield comments? A large number of Haitians moved to Springfield, Ohio, and breathed life back into that sleepy town. It was job opportunity, but also they spurred the economy there. They are not here illegally. They are here under the banner of TPS, temporary protected status, because of the earthquake and the political dismay, everything that was happening in Haiti. They actually spurred an economic boom in this town. So this incredibly racist attack from J.D. Vance that was based in nothing but other racist rhetoric coming from the bowels of the internet is not only embarrassing, it is inaccurate, and it is rooted in white supremacy. And I wish that the moderators had called that out more forcefully, even though they did, but I wish they had called that out and actually cited the benefits that Springfield, Ohio has gotten because of the Haitian population there. There is no reports of any pets being consumed, for crying out loud, and it is embarrassment that this is something that had to be talked about, not on the national stage, but the global stage. Andrew, I'm sorry.
No, all the insights have been great, and I know we are wrapping up, y'all. The listening audience and so on has been a long night, and I thank our guest hosts.
No, Andrew's got great.
I just want to thank the guest hosts for their contributions tonight. All right.
Not yet.
The moderators, I started as a fan because the fact checking that we don't often hear in these debates. I started there, but as Trump again continued to sort of trample over them. Elie used the word stamina. They had it, but part of your job is to come prepared to sustain for 90 minutes plus is what it was, and stick to the order of the day. They had no problem sticking to the order of the day when it came to Kamala Harris, cutting her off, moving, pushing right past her. And what my fear is that it could give the impression that she was somebody who could be run through. And that was also my concern with when Trump was very dismissive of her, where she would sort of make a facial expression, but her words were inaudible, so you couldn't really get a feel for what the pushback was. Now, I think on the whole, she absolutely showed that she is more than to the task of standing up to him and standing far above him. Trump doesn't get a passing grade at all, in part because I don't even believe that he gave anything for his people to hang their hat on. What do they say tomorrow when they go to work or around the water cooler or whatever it is about his performance? Oh, he really, socked it to her and was insulting and didn't call her names. And sure, there are a lot of people in America who know men, just like Donald Trump, white men who, one, cannot stand to look at a woman other than when it is to their benefit, and certainly don't want to have an intelligent conversation with a woman, which is why, to the point, he only seemed to want to engage with David.
Yeah.
The other two women that were present in that room were both black women.
Right.
And it is no accident that he treated them the way that he did. But I just don't think that he did enough for people to hang their hat on and say, oh, this is why this is my guy. As you've already said, Tiffany, the people who are for him are going to be for him. There's no changing of that mind. Now, if there is a true moderate that remains out there today who watched this debate and is still him humming about which would be the best representative of who we are, to hell with you. If that is still a consideration at this point, because that should have, first of all, it should not have existed for a long time. But if that's still where you are, just stay home. But for those of us who care about the future, our kids, our families, what matters, man, please, there's just no competition. They were not in the same stratosphere. And as it relates to Kamala, just on, I said she got a passing grade, but I just want to say there was so much subtext, strategy, brilliance in what she was able to pull off tonight. And it was no accident that he was baited. She didn't bait him once. He was on his talking points. They weren't compelling talking points, but in the early part of the debate, for the first couple of minutes, he thought he was going to do with her what he did with Biden, which was basically complete a sentence. And when she got under his skin, the whole goddamn plan fell apart. And that's why he couldn't keep a congruent thought going. That's why he's reaching out left and right trying to find something that he can say, and it became a game of insults. So she passes, he effing fails, and the moderators are somewhere in the middle.
Well, here's
lawyers,
the thing.
baby, lawyers. I mean, like, let's remember, this is a woman whose prosecutorial experience, I think you saw that. Like, that prosecutorial ability to keep facts and figures in your head while also keeping argument streams in your head, while also knowing how to bait the witness, to get under the witness's skin, knowing how to set the witness up to say what you need them to say so you can ask your next question. That's lawyers by training. Represent.
This went on all day long. This started long before they ever took a stage.
Sure.
Yes.
For
long
sure.
before. She had a drone.
Yes.
The
signs outside the venue
at the museum.
Yes.
She had an ad that ran first thing in the morning on crowd size. So when by the time you get to 9 p.m. Eastern at the National Constitution Center, like, you have already started messing with him. Scaramucci, ends up coming down to Philadelphia. Like, the trolling began early. It went throughout the day, and it continued on the debate stage, I think, to effect.
Somebody we didn't shout out tonight, who I'd like to shout out, and that is the makeup artist who did Donald Trump's makeup. I wonder how because they kind of match my complexion, and it's just interesting that he's talking so negatively about people of color before, and he tries so hard to look like them with their hue. I know it's petty, I know it's not policy, but I'm pointing it out anyway because I noticed it and he looks ridiculous. But I do like the foundation color. Anyway, shout out to the lawyers, Angela, that Elie gave you a shout out.
Shout out to the lawyers. This has been extraordinarily important and fantastic. The one thing that I forgot to say in my grades is that one of the reasons why I docked Kamala Harris a little bit is in her closing remarks, she should have pointed people to her website where they could learn more about her plan. And she certainly should have reminded folks when Election Day is and like welcoming them in. She was so strong about her theme throughout. It was super, super important. She was clear. She was presidential. But again, we talked about at the beginning of the show, the hurdle is so much taller for all of us. And so to that end, we know that there is plenty more to talk about. I know you guys are going to be on the trail following this. Elie and Errin, we are so, so grateful for you all's time tonight.
Jemele, too.
Thank you so much. And definitely to Jemele as well, who joined us earlier in the program. We are going to be following y'all. Elie and Errin, shout out where people can see y'all on social.
Yeah, I am at eMarvelous on Instagram.
Because she won't change her handle.
Darling.
You know what? We're not gonna do this.
Okay.
Let's stay on message. Can we mute Angela?
eMarvelous.
No,
I'm gonna be Donald Trump.
Mute her mic, please.
At eMarvelous because she won't change her handle.
And I'm Errin Haines at Errin Haines on Twitter because Angela made me.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Elie?
I'm at Elie NYC on Twitter. That's ELIE-NYC. And I write for The Nation magazine, where I write like multiple times a week, and you can like read me and stuff, which would be great.
And a best-selling New York Times best-selling book.
Yeah, I got some books.
Yeah,
that's also happening.
I love the way you put things, Elie. Can they follow us next? I don't even know. I just got here, guys. I don't know the plan.
Look, we got a week of episodes.
Major killer. We will be live at the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation Annual Legislators Conference this week. It looks like on Saturday. So stay tuned to our social at Native Land Pod. I think we're doing the pre-game of the dinner. So we're going to be the only act in town.
What about dinner? Where are we having dinner? You are
So
owed
we'll
to
talk
dinner.
about
In
that
the
in the
meantime,
after
Elie
show.
and Errin,
In
we're
the
gonna let y'all go
meantime.
while we have this nonsense
So
debate.
y'all
Thanks,
and to
Elie
the
and Errin.
listeners.
No, we gonna keep the listeners for a minute. If y'all have ideas
okay.
for DC dinner,
Yeah.
let us know where we should go eat. I want to support Chef Kwame.
Well, you
Okay.
can't get in there if you
'Cause
know.
I
I
know
the
Chef
debate
Kwame,
ran
Chef
over, so
Kwame
I'm
hit
thinking
Okay,
we should
I
let
have,
people go to bed.
you know,
texted him?
not
Just
him,
saying.
but the
My thoughts.
his, Alexander. Small.
Okay, we
Anyway,
still on
okay.
air, but yes. Anyway, Elie and Errin are out, and
Bye,
Welcome
guys.
home, y'all. Thank
Welcome
you.
home,
we
y'all.
are not doing a live episode. I mean, a regular scheduled episode this week because we'll be at ALC.
But
Well,
the
this
people
is
who
it.
haven't watched can watch this tomorrow,
Yes.
Thursday, Friday.
And
Tell
right
your
now.
friends, share it, clip it, do all the things.
We're
Make a
here
comment
because
on
of
YouTube.
y'all. You said be here, and like Avengers.
Yes, we showed up. But also remember that the live comments go away.
Yeah.
Yeah, once it's
Sadly, I hate
posted.
that.
So please weigh in. I know because I've been reading. I think I've read every single comment.
Oh,
So
you're
I love
doing
y'all
good, Tiff.
for weighing in. But please be sure to drop a comment. Let us know because I go back and look at the comments and share it. So the more that you all watch and tune in, the more that we can do this.
There are
Real quick,
56
someone said that
50
they felt like she didn't do anything to appeal to black men directly, and I think that's just a point
Oh.
that we should lift up.
I
And
think
if-
that's on the moderators. What question did they ask to help her, that would allow her to address?
That's
comment to
partially,
black men?
but she got to answer the question that she wants to answer. So I think that's what, look, black men, I don't want y'all to feel ignored or unheard or unappreciated or underappreciated. So I think if that's how you felt, that's a fair.
I don't
but
know
please
that
look
that was
at her
from a man, but-
policy. But this is my point, because when people say, when we were on with Lenard and he was like, some of his listeners say this, it's like, guys, some of this is on you. Like, her policy is up. You have to go look and connect that policy to yourself. These candidates are crisscrossing the country. They're doing rallies. Like, it's going to be hard for somebody to come knock on your door in your face and say, hey, here's what I'm doing for you. We have to, it's kind of the rent we pay for living here, to take an active participating role in this here democracy.
And credit
her
to the
policy's
campaign.
up. Look at it.
And to the credit, they actually have done very specific events. There was a call actually with Barbershops, Beauty Salon
Yes.
folks, with Tina Knowles and
Yeah. They've been doing
members
outreach.
of the campaign as well. But
Those
I
folks-
also think I didn't hear her individually call out black women either. Which, by the way, I
That
only
she
say
didn't
that
call
to
out
say.
Asian
Let me just
Americans,
say,
Yeah, she
indigenous
didn't call anybody
as I
Americans,
finish the point, the point is that she didn't necessarily have to name check us. I saw myself reflected in the vision that she tried to describe for what she wants to see happen. Should she be honored with y'all's vote, our vote, to become the next president of the United States? And I've got no doubt that that she is extremely clear about where the bread is buttered.
And speaking of bread being buttered, we got some bread to butter throughout the rest of this week, and a busy week at that. But before we end the show, I want to remind you all to please make sure you leave us a review and subscribe to Native Land Pod. We are available on all platforms and YouTube, which are where this live stream is taking place. New episodes drop every single Thursday. You can also follow us on social media. We are your hosts, Angela Rye, Tiffany Cross, Andrew Gillum, and we want to shout out again our guests. There are 56 days until Election Day. Welcome
56.
home, y'all. What is your question?
Welcome home. I just want to know if we're going to talk about dinner.
Oh, right now?
If they had suggestions for
Yes.
dinner.
Shut these cameras
Send
down.
us to them on social media. Keep the conversation going. We love that
Please.
y'all are still so engaged on the stream. Keep the conversation going on social. And please tell Tiffany where she's taking me to dinner
Yes.
twice this week. Because I won a debate bet, Andrew.
You did.
They're doing what's called eating crow.
I'm going to eat crow, but I want to eat
God
some
bless
good
you and
crow.
your
So tell
families.
us some good places to go. Black owned
We're
in
out.
D.C.
Just
Y'all be
remember
saying
that I'm a
spaces
winner.
in Maryland and Virginia. We're not doing that.
I'm a
D-
winner,
Welcome
they're a
home,
loser. I'm a winner,
everybody.
they're a loser.
Welcome home.
Welcome
Bye,
home,
y'all. Welcome home.
Very good, guys. I dropped the place and nobody
Talking about
on all of the latest.
I
Rod
emailed
Gillum
you
and
guys.
Cross connected to the statements that you leave on our socials. Thank you sincerely for the patience. Reason for your choice is clear. We're so grateful. Took the oath to execute roles. Yeah, faithful. Preserve, defend, and protect the truth. Even if painful. Welcome home to all of the natives. We thank you.
Welcome home, y'all.
What's
Welcome
up,
home.
sis?